Hey everybody, this is D Hunter for another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman Year 2 Black and White Accent Edition. In the US, this is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. I ordered this from the CMD store, Canadian-based website. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, DC, the Batman logo, Batman Year 2 Black and White Accent Edition. Authenticated limited edition, limited to 5,550 pieces. This is part of the Gold Label collection. A Gold Label figure is simply a retailer exclusive. Whether it be Target or Walmart, this Gold Label is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. Here's the front of the box. Side's pretty blank. The back, you can see Batman with that giant pre-post cape looking pretty cool. Other side, Batman Year 2 Black and White Edition. At the bottom, there's a barcode, if that helps. So with no further ado, let's open it up. And here's how this thing looks with the outer sleeve removed. Tons and tons of accessories and interchangeable options. And of course, I did get two of these sets, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Here's this black and white accent version of the Year 2 Batman, next to the original version. This is originally a Target exclusive. And then, next to the autographed version of the Year 2 Batman, which was also a Target exclusive. Here's my copy of Detective Comics number 575. This is Batman Year 2, Part 1. Here's the cover. It's Batman holding a gun, which is very atypical Batman. No guns, no killing, those are his rules. He's got a holster on his chest. Traditional suit besides that. Then, Detective Comics 576, Year 2, Number 2. You can see the Reaper holding that sort of hook blade thing. He's been chopping Batman to shreds, part of his costume on the front. Batman holding the gun, pointing it at the Reaper. And then, of course, number 577, Year 2, Part 3, Batman draped over the sort of tomb of his parents, Martha and Thomas Wayne. Still has that gun. And then, Detective Comics 578. Batman has now taken that weapon from the Reaper, holding his gun, and that weapon. And as you can see at the bottom there, the art is by Todd McFarlane himself. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. He comes with quite a bit of cool stuff. So first of all, we have this display base that's part of Gotham City Cemetery. He's got a collector's card, a batarang, 4 interchangeable hands, 2 capes, one of which is cloth soft goods, and the other is this large, oversized, deluxe hard plastic cape flowing in the wind. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is the Year 2 Batman, drawn by Todd McFarlane himself, and this is the black and white accent version. He has this giant hard plastic cape, and right now it's just the figure, his head, no arms inside there, but you can't really tell. Let's go ahead and get him out of the cape, put him into his regular outfit, and then we'll check everything out. And so here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's go ahead and assemble him without the hard plastic cape, and then we'll check everything out. So there you have it, Batman fully put together with his cloth soft goods cape and his arms attached. This is an exact replica of the previous Year 2 Batman, although this one is done in black and white colors, and that was the first figure to debut the body of the 3 Jokers and Hush Batman, which is a pretty nice Batman body, a little bit big, but not much. So let's take a closer look. Start with his head. He's got the really long ears, which I like, the Year 2 look. White lenses in the eye. You can see the sort of gray flesh color there. As you go further down, oval around the bat symbol, capsule utility belt. It looks like a black and gray Batman costume, which is what it is, but it's really black and white figure. Black soft goods cape extends out very, very nicely. I mean, it's only halfway there. He's got double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. They did a decent job of painting the middle of his sort of piece in between there, part glove, part not. As a whole, looks pretty good. Now, I remember people complaining, bitching and moaning so much about the boots being straight across instead of coming up to a point on the first version, and of course they didn't correct that, but I didn't expect them to. And in the first version, almost everyone had the figure break at that bicep cut here. I was so proud that mine didn't break. for many, many, many years until fairly recently, and then both sides broke. And you know what? I'm manhandling this guy. I'm not going to be careful with this guy for years and have him break. If it breaks, it breaks. I'll glue it. If it doesn't, great. Who knows if they improve the quality there, or if it's the same sort of soft plastic. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, which I do really like. I like the really long ears, the sort of thin face, the white lenses in the eyes. It looks like a traditional Batman. Now let's take a look at all of his accessories. And let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the black and white Year 2 Batman. On the back side, we have a certificate of authenticity. This is number 2,473 out of 5,550. If you guys got this figure, drop a line in the comments below. Let me know what number you got. Now let's look at his display base. Like I said, it's sort of part of a Gotham City cemetery, and I think it's a really cool display base. So, we have this cross that's sticking up. That part came separate. When attached, it really can't be removed. Then he has all these different tombstones. This one here says Thomas Wayne. This one here says Martha Wayne. Jason Todd. Selena Kyle. Tim Drake. Barbara Gordon. A lot of really cool details. Here it is, next to the previous diorama piece, which is exactly the same, only the previous one is done in color, not black and white. Now let's look at his hands. He has 4 hands, 2 left hands, and 2 right hands. And it's always bothered me how these front 2 hands have sort of gloves and gripping texture on them, and the back 2 hands are totally smooth. They should match. Makes you think 2 hands are meant for a different figure, and 2 hands are meant for this figure. Here's Batman with his first pair of hands. His right hand is a gripping hand, his left hand is a fist. And here's his second pair of hands. These are some open hands. They look like they could be some grabbing, choking, or throwing hands. Now for his Batarang. It's a large, oversized Batarang, all black, pretty thick. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to throw that Batarang. Now let's look at his capes. He has 1 cloth soft goods and 1 made of hard plastic. So the hard plastic one is pretty big. It's gorgeous, sort of flowing in the wind, that Todd McFarlane art style. His head will fit to the top. On the inside here, we have this little peg that this little post will go into. One will attach there. Another one will sort of go inside of here, and these will allow you to sort of hold the cape sturdy. It's like a little sort of stand to hold it upright. Because if it's not leaning into something in the background, it's just going to sort of want to fall over. But then you're going to have Batman's feet in there, so the cape plus this will help it stand up. And then, of course, we have this cloth soft goods cape here. It's got a plastic sort of cowl piece around the neck. The cape is sort of perforated at the bottom, just like Batman would be. And if you put it on the ground and just stretch it out, it is enormous. It looks really cool like this, stretched on the ground. It's giant, but not as big as the other cape. Here's Batman wearing his cloth soft goods cape. This is actually how I prefer to display the figure, as he just takes up so much room with the other cape. And then here's Batman utilizing the hard plastic Deluxe cape. It looks cool from almost every angle. Now to check out the differences, similarities, and reuse between this black and white version of the Year 2 Batman and the original version. And the original one came out a long, long time ago. They are 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation. I really like the long ears. It's like we have the traditional blue and gray color scheme for the comics here, and the traditional black and gray here. Only difference is his flesh color is gray, not actual flesh colored. Yes, the boots are a valid complaint, and they even have the proper parts now, but this wasn't a new figure. This is just a variant black and white re-release. They've done it tons and times before. They're both really nice figures. When this guy came out, he was like the only version of a traditional classic blue and gray comic Batman. I mean, we had the Detective Comics 1000 repaint, but this guy, he was sort of my Nightfall Batman for a while, until he got dethroned by the actual Nightfall Batman. Here are all the McFarlane figures that utilize the Year 2, 3 Jokers, and Hush Batman body. I count 25 of them. There are some subtle differences in the boots and whatnot, but they're all the same base body. It's a good base body, and I'm sure they're not done with it yet. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, staying about 7.2 inches tall, which can translate to around 18 centimeters, and if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.6 inches tall, and for his articulation. Starting with his head and neck is one solid piece. It can rotate side to side. He can look up and down about that far. Can even tilt his head at least a little bit from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increasing the range of motion and covering up the gap that would be there. Bicep cut below that, and that's the area that notoriously broke in the first release. Double jointed elbows, they go all the way in. His wrists can rotate and it's hinged as well. Ball joint in his torso. Rotate around. Forward and back, at least not much on mine. Maybe it's stuck. Another ball joint in the waist. Rotate around. Forward and back. Between the two, good range of motion. You get quite a bit more out of the waist than the torso in this guy. Legs completely does the splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation's pretty good. Legs go forward. About that far. Back not at all. Double jointed knees. And his ankles. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt, rock. And toe articulation. Here's a look at this Batman in a Gotham cemetery at nighttime under moonlight. Cape flowing in the wind. Here's Batman sitting at the computer at the Batcave. Here's Batman in the Batcave reminiscing over Jason Todd's memorial. Here's Batman in the graveyard with a giant cape flowing in front of him. Then here's Batman fighting the Reaper in the cemetery, just like in Year 2. Here's Batman on top of a rooftop in Gotham City, cape fluttering in the wind. Like I said before, this Batman is very versatile. He can be sort of a Neil Adams type Batman from the 70s, up to a Nightfall Batman from the 90s. Here's Batman taking on Cavalier. They look pretty good together. Or Batman taking on the Penguin. This Batman would work good taking on Scarecrow in the sewer. This is the kind of Batman I would imagine chasing Ratcatcher or Clayface down in the sewers as well. And here's Batman taking on Killer Croc in the sewers. And let's skip ahead a few years. Here's this blue and gray Year 2 Batman taking on Bane in the Batcave. Bane is about to break the bat. Here's Batman taking on the Joker right in front of his base. Kind of both in their killing joke looks. Now let's check them out. Next is with their action figures, starting off with some of the McFarlane toys. Here's a look at the black and white accent Year 2 Batman, next to the original release. McFarlane recently released a couple more Year 2 Batman figures. These were the Collector's Edition subline, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants. Here's this Year 2 Batman next to Mattel's DC Multiverse Year 2 Reaper. This is the only Year 2 figure that Mattel made, and here he is, next to McFarlane's Year 1 Batman. And just like the Year 2 Batman, McFarlane made both a black and white and a color version of the Year 1 Batman. Here are all the black and white accent DC figures that McFarlane has done. In their DC Multiverse line, we have a total of 7 of them so far. I believe the next one to come out is going to be the Grim Knight. I always thought that Batman would be really good for the black and white accent line, and I wasn't wrong. McFarlane also made a couple of black and white accent figures in the Spawn line. We have a black and white with green accent Spawn, and a black and white with a red accent Mandarin Spawn. They also made a black and white accent Trinity 3-pack in the Superpowers line. Now let's check them out. Next is some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to most recent Collector's Edition figures. I don't know if these are all Wave 11 or what, it's kind of confusing. We have both the regular and Platinum version of the Target exclusive Strange Lives of Superman. The regular version of Hawkgirl. I'm on the hunt for the Platinum version. She's actually the only figure in the entire Multiverse line that I need right now. Then we have the Red Lantern Guy Gardner and Yellow Jacket Mr. Terrific, which are variants of Collector's Edition figures from previous waves. Here's this Batman, next to some more Target exclusive releases. We have the New 52 Superman and the Revenge of the Green Lantern's Red Cyborg Superman. And here he is with the entire James Gunn Superman movie wave, regular figures, deluxe figures, and the mega figure. Then, with the most recent Batman theatrical wave, we have the all-bronze Michael Keaton Batman, the Batman vs. Superman Jeremy Irons Alfred, and the Batman Forever Jim Carrey Final Suit Riddler. And now, with a couple of McFarlane cover recreations, we have the infamous stolen Killing Joke Joker and the Dark Knight Returns Batman. Here's this Batman next to the Amazon exclusive Glow in the Dark Captain Carrot, and here he is next to Catboy Batman, Jade, Armored Hal Jordan, the Platinum and regular versions of Eradicator, Bizarro, and Cyborg Superman. Then, with both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Walmart exclusive Year 1 Batman and Lieutenant Jim Gordon, and now with the regular and Platinum versions of Icon, and finally with the GameStop exclusive Frostbite Red Hood and George Clooney Batman. Now let's talk about next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is next to several different McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures, and now with some Jack-specific resin figures and some Diamond Stock toys. Here's this Batman next to a candle lighter, and here he is with some DC Direct and NECA Batman figures, and now with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures, and now with some Mezco and Mattel Batman figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends, and finally with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a pretty nice Batman figure. The body is a little bit dated with the ball joints in the ankles and the wrists, but he looks pretty good. I like the long ears, I like the black and gray color scheme, but this one is definitely more of a display piece, being the black and white figure versus the full color version with the blue, the gray, and the flesh colors. I actually really like the black and gray color scheme here, if only he had a flesh tone instead of the gray skin. Still, it's a very nice figure. The cape, I prefer the cloth soft goods cape. The other cape is just enormous and it makes the figure really essentially just a statue. It does look good, has a very nice sort of imposing shelf presence to it. His accessories, extra hands, they're good, but they kind of botch the hands by having mismatched gloves. The Batarang is oversized, as McFarlane typically does with the accessories. If I were to rate this figure, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I don't know what I rated the other guy. It's been a long time, but I'd say the other one probably deserves a 7.5. They're both very nice Batman figures, but of course I prefer the traditional, fully colored version to the black and white one. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys real soon.